Excellency, for sharing your guidance, your wisdom, but for sharing also the concrete action you are taking in your country. Now it's my pleasure to invite His Excellency HICHILEMA, President of the Republic of Zambia, to share his comment and reflection on the ongoing conversation. Excellency, over to you.
Thank you very much, moderator. I think it's in order for me to recognize and appreciate President Masisi for the initiative working with the UNICEF on this day, World Children's Day commemoration. President Masisi, thank you very much for your innovative idea. I also wish to thank the other presidents, President Geingob for being here from Namibia, and also, of course, my next door neighbor. You are all my next door neighbors, actually. President Mnangagwa, and obviously the young people and those that are able to be present here. But returning to the young people to thank these young panelists. Looking at their presentation, the issues they've raised, it clearly indicates that our countries, individual countries, and our region has a lot of skill, a lot of talent that we need to harness so that talent can work for our populations in our countries, in our region, on our continent, Africa, and the world at large. President Masisi and the Yali indicate that the issues of the children, the issues of the young people, are fundamentally the issues of society. They are challenges of society. They are our issues. So I want to make that point loud and clear. And I think as I make my little contributions and suggestions, my contributions should be seen in the context of that these are our issues. They are not children's issues. They are not the youth issues. They are integral to who we are. Because that's what society is. That's how society regenerates itself. Because the children are produced by the elders. And the children eventually will produce their own children. And so, very important. For me to make a meaningful contribution, I thought I should simply indicate that it is critical that we who are in leadership work with our children, our young, to resolve these our issues. And I choose to indicate, moderator, that the issues of the children, issues of society, for us to breathe, I believe we need to step back a little bit to look at the child from the early days, the beginnings. So we are saying, as leaders, it is important that we invest in a word, figuratively, but more important in a philosophical way, to improve the mortality rate, infant mortality rate. If you like, to lower the infant mortality rate, so that we have more of our children having higher chances of surviving when they are at that early stage, but obviously having taken care of the mother. And I think it's also important that we invest in the protection of these young people when they are still fragile. And in this case, I'm talking about us in leadership, governments, together with the young people. I agree with you that you are leaders already. We are leaders together. We actually enforce the rule of law, because a lot of abuses that take place in society, a number of them actually start at the family level. The abuse of children starts at the family level. I think we need to be alert to that. And I want to agree with our fellow leaders, the young leaders, that it's important that we are conscious, you are not shy to report abuses that could be taking place in the families, at school, in other public places. I think it's important that we open up our societies in that manner, and that there is no sort of gagging, and that's where the media comes in here, moderator, that the media must be versatile to be able to encourage young people and the parents, including those that live with disabilities, who sometimes get abused and they suffer in silence. I think it's important that we do things like that. On the health side, I think it's important that children just don't get the medicinal side of health, but the nutritional side of health, in my view, is very important. That's why we must get our economies to be vibrant. We must get our economies to take care of families, broader families, especially the families that are less privileged in our communities. And President Masisa and my colleagues, presidents, my seniors, I'm the most junior president on this panel. So I am saying that I think the health aspect, we ought to see it in a broader way. I'm sure you are already doing that in your country, so we're happy to learn from yourselves so that we avoid reinventing the wheel, but really to take care of ourselves, taking care of. And I was born not in a maternity wing of any facility, but right in the heart, grass-thatched house. And we understand now as a leadership in this country that we need to extend health services into the rural areas. And President Masisa, I heard you talk about some of the IT things you want to do for the rural areas. I want to agree with you, President, and I want to agree with my fellow leaders here, the young leaders, that let's work together to improve the livelihoods of our people at that early age. But given the climate change challenges we have, I think off-grid energy becomes extremely important. Green energy, solar energy becomes extremely important, and because there's recognition that the climatic change, the damage has largely been done by the first world, so to say, the more developed one. But we cannot apportion blame. We have to take responsibility ourselves at our level while we seek for support. And I want to encourage the young leaders here that listening to the young people at the COP26 in Glasgow, you have a lot of friends globally, which you must improve your networking, and we should assist. We will assist you to increase that networking so that you can tap into what your fellow young colleagues are doing out there. I mean, it was incredible to watch young people being able to provide platforms for these young people to improve in the manner they've exhibited their skills today. So we encourage you to continue. My own Yande here, you made a very good presentation there. I heard you, my ears work, our ears work. Definitely the issues of child court bill are absolutely agreed. And I think when we reach home, we get back home, let's work together. Let's see what we need to do to accelerate bringing this court into place. Not just a bill, but government now has some reasonable, very comfortable control of Parliament. So it's easy for us to pass bills. We will pass that bill. So I want to commit to yourself. Yeah. I must also indicate here that presidents, in response proactively to the issues of the children, this our World Children's Day, I had for us our true management institutional arrangements to take care of the needs of society, the needs of the children, including setting up a dedicated ministry of small, medium enterprises that will focus on how to nurse, as President Mnangagwa said, to nurse the interest, the capability of young people, the youth, at that early stage. Dedicated ministry for them. But we haven't just ended there. We've also taken resources from January, something that has never been done before in our country, to take a substantial amount of money from the central government. We have increased constituent support by well over 1,000%, such that these resources will now match the needs of young people at that early stage. Metano, as we said, but also antenatal care, plus infant mortality issues, health, education support for the young people. And the decisions will be made, Yande, at a local level, so that the central government doesn't claim to have more knowledge of what the young people and the mothers and other members of society need at that local level. Never done before in our country, and we're determined to make things work so we don't reinvent the wheel. I dare say that it is true that education alone is not enough. Appropriate education alone is not enough. Appropriate curricula alone is not enough. Yes, we'll do those, because those are basics. But I'm looking at a situation that we can engage with you young people as colleagues in leadership, such that we are able to offer opportunities, business opportunities, jobs, but not jobs just to report in the office, but innovative related jobs as well. Because your minds are stronger than the value of children is not just in creating the pool of resources that are required to run our economies, to run our social services well, but of course it's that pool of leadership. But we would like to see a better quality pool of leadership so that we can enhance openness, equity, opportunity to our children, but also when you take over the roles that we have, you can also carry on the tradition of openness, inclusion, not exclusions, right? Opportunity, not marginalization for all our people across our countries. So, moderator, I thought that would be the correct way of responding to we have secured our future as individual countries, as a region, as Africa, and the continent. There's no question about that. In my mind, there's no question about that. President Masisi, I sit here, President Mnangagwa, President Geingob, as a boy who went to the city first time to go to the University of Zambia, straight from the village. And the only reason that I'm sitting in this chair is because I was given an opportunity to basically inherit the best asset, education. And we intend to give that to all our children in our country. That's why we've introduced now education for all of the children, even from poorer families, those who are from disadvantaged families, living with disabilities. Since Kaunda's time, Super Kenya's time, President Mnangagwa will remember that, President Geingob will remember that. We've gone back to those days. Some of our competitors thought it was impossible. We have done it in the first year because we love our children, we love our country. Thank you very much.